Welcome to Smart Girl Philippines. I'm Irish. In today's episode, I'm talking about the 12 worst things you can do when you're dating a Filipina. Remember, it's more fun in the Philippines, but only if you're smart. So, let's get started. But, just a quick word of caution. If you know anything about my channel, you know I keep it real. So, this list is going to be really honest, really raw, and it's even going to be a little offensive because I'm saying the quiet parts out loud that you aren't going to hear anywhere else. So, here we go. Worst thing number 1, wasting time on whores. You just started chatting with the Filipina that you met on Tinder and she wants to come to your condo or hotel room to meet you for your first date right away. Guys, I have bad news. That's a whore. That's not a potential Filipina girlfriend. Generally speaking, potential Filipina girlfriends will meet you at the mall on your first date. Whores will meet you in your hotel room. Guys, be smart. Worst thing number 2, giving your real name and real Facebook and personal information out in the nightlife districts or to girls you just met online. Do you think Filipinas are giving you their real name and real Facebook and real address that you meet online or in the bars here? No. So, don't be so quick to give out all your personal information to strangers because information is power. And she's just going to use that information against you at a later time if she can. But Irish, shouldn't I be honest when I'm dating Filipinas? Yes, with your real girlfriend. But not with Princess who works at the Candyland bar or with Jasmine, the lollipop girl that you met outside your hotel at 2 a.m. Worst thing number 3, friending her family members on Facebook or connecting with them on Messenger. If you start dating a Filipina and then you meet her family and start adding them on Facebook and giving them your Messenger or WhatsApp, there's a good chance that her siblings or other family members are going to start asking you for money. And the worst thing you can do is say yes. And the second worst thing you can do is say no. Your only winning move is to not reply to any request for money. Once you give them money, the requests are never going to end. And if you say no, they're going to feel like you've disrespected them. So, just don't reply. That's how it works in the Philippines. The way you say no is you don't reply. Your Filipina should be a gatekeeper to shield you from all those financial requests. But she can't do that if her entire family has your contact information, fuckhead. So, go meet her family. Go have fun with her family. Be respectful to her family. Be kind to her family. And you can even buy her family Jollibee. But do yourself a favor and don't start adding them all on Facebook. But good luck if you do. Worst thing number 4, helping your Filipina start a business. Here's what typically happens. A foreigner starts dating a Filipina and of course, she's got an idea for a business. Maybe it's going to cost a few $100s or a few $1,000s or maybe even a lot more than that. And the boom boom with her is so good that he takes the bait. He spends the money. The business opens. Then she quickly loses interest when things get stressful. The business fails and this creates strain on the relationship. Your money is gone and then your Filipina is gone shortly after. What happened was she liked the idea of having her own business but didn't like the idea of having to run and manage it. Those are two different things. And instead of just being her boyfriend, you made the mistake of taking on the role of her banker, which is a really horrible idea. And she didn't have to work for it. You made everything too easy for her. You financed her entire business and she didn't have the drive or determination to actually put you in the work required to make it happen. And that puts strain on your relationship because you ended up yelling at her, "Baby, I just spent $10,000 to help you start this business and now you don't want to do it? What the fuck?" And now that you're upset with her, it's the perfect excuse for her to break up with you. Thanks for all the money. I promise I'm gonna pay you back someday. Bye. Guys, generally speaking, Filipinas make great girlfriends but not great business partners. So don't take the bait no matter how tight her mango is. Worst thing number 5, answering every question she asked. You're on a date with a Filipina. She asked you about your ex. You tell her you had a Filipina girlfriend for a year, but you just broke up last month. And by answering her question, you just caused the first domino to fall, and now she's going to ask you why you broke up, and where she was from, and how old she was, and what she was like in the bedroom. And the questions are never going to end. Information is power in the Philippines, and a Filipina knows this. Filipinas could work for the CIA, and asking questions are just one of the tactics she uses. By using certain questions, she's putting you on the defensive, and that's why the thing a Filipina hates more than anything else is being asked questions. Go ahead and try it. Ask the Filipina you're chatting with a question like, "Where are you right now?" or "Where do you actually live?" And she's probably going to respond with one word: why. Why do you want to know? So, don't be dumb. Sometimes you need to keep yourself a bit of a mystery. Sometimes you need to keep some things to yourself. So, don't feel like you have to answer every question a Filipina asks you. You can simply say, "Past is past." Or, "All that matters right now is you." Or, "I'll tell you later." Worst thing number 6, not making assumptions. Usually, making assumptions is a bad thing. But in the Philippines, when you're dating Filipinas, making assumptions is a really good thing. If she's not replying to your messages right away, assume she's not interested. If she's always busy, assume she's dating someone else. If she insists that you wear a condom, then assume she's just having fun with you. If she only has 18 friends on Facebook, assume she didn't give you her real Facebook account. If she's busy on Christmas and New Year's Eve, assume she's got another guy. What you need to understand is that Filipinas aren't going to tell you the truth with their words. They're going to tell you the truth with their actions. I'm not saying that Filipinas are liars, but what I am saying is that in our culture, causing someone to lose face or causing offense is a really big deal. We would rather skirt around the truth than to offend anyone else. So yeah, a Filipina isn't going to come right out and say she's not interested in you, or that she doesn't like you, or that she's dating another guy. She's just not going to reply to your messages, or she's just going to say she's busy. That's how it works here. So, you should always be making assumptions based on her actions, because those assumptions will usually be right, regardless of whatever she tells you. Worst thing number 7, trying to fix silent treatment. We have a thing here in the Philippines called tampo, which is a word that means sulking mixed with silent treatment. If a Filipina gets mad, she's not going to yell or shout. She's just going to get quiet. That's called tampo. And the way to deal with it is you don't do anything. You don't try to fix the problem. You just let her be quiet and let her emotions run their course. And then everything usually gets back to normal in an hour or two. And then you pop her lechon and now she's happy again. The mistake most guys make is trying to fix the problem right away. And even worse, what they will do is reward her silent treatment or other toxic behavior with attention, dates, Jollibee dinners, maybe a new iPhone or a vacation. All this does is reinforce the toxic behavior and teaches her that in order to get what she wants, all she has to do is act toxic. So, if your Filipina starts to act toxic, your only winning move is to ignore her. You should only be rewarding positive behavior in your relationship. The only power a Filipina has over you in a relationship is through manipulation. Some manipulation can be good and some can be bad. So, she's probably going to be testing you subconsciously to see how easily manipulated you are early in the relationship. And that's not just Filipinas. That's every girl in the world. And if she uses bad manipulation tactics and you take the bait and reward her, then you're setting your relationship up to be a total nightmare. So, good luck. Worst thing number 8, not ordering rice. Rice is life in the Philippines, and Filipinas want to eat rice with every meal. That means rice for breakfast, rice for lunch, and rice for dinner. So, if you're dating a Filipina, just get it in your head that you need to order rice at every meal. If you take your Filipina to an expensive 2,000 peso buffet, she's not going to be excited about all the delicious food. No, she's going to be more excited about the unlimited rice that only costs a few pesos. I felt sorry for a foreign guy who dated me a few years ago. He said he wanted to buy dinner for my parents and siblings and cousins. So he showed up with a bunch of expensive pizzas. And everyone ate the pizza. But there was just one problem. There was no rice. And everyone had a frown on their face. And then my little cousins awkwardly asked, "Where's the rice?" So, then my mom quickly cooked rice for everybody to eat. Never forget that your sweet and tiny Filipina is always going to have a voice in her head saying, "Where's the fucking rice?" Worst thing number 9, yelling at her. You start dating a Filipina. She does something really dumb. And then you yell at her. "How could you be so stupid?" Then she never forgets it for the rest of her life. Or you give your Filipina money for load for her phone. Then 2 days later, she says she doesn't have any load. And you shout at her, "Baby, what the fuck? I just gave you money for load 2 days ago." Here's the deal. Our culture is different. Things work differently here. Some things don't make sense. And some Filipinas are inexperienced when it comes to dating or maybe even when it comes to going to the store to buy something simple. She might not know how to drive a scooter. She might not know how to manage the smallest amount of money. She might not understand the concept of being on time. So, do yourself a big favor. No matter how frustrated you get with the Filipina, never, ever, ever yell at her. If you do, then it's game over. Because yelling at someone is literally the worst thing you could do in the Philippines. So, don't do it. Worst thing number 10, being too nice. It's so tempting to be the nice guy when you show up here. You're dating a tiny and sweet and seemingly innocent Filipina and you really want to be nice to her. You want to give her money and buy her a new iPhone and help solve all her problems and pay her hospital bills and help pay for her brother's tuition and pay off her mom's debts and let her move in right away and pay for vacations with her family and do everything you can for her because you're just so excited to have the love of a young Filipina. But trust me, that's the worst thing you could be doing. Because once you quickly solve all her problems, then there's no reason to keep you around. Like Dr. Taraban says, do you keep paying the plumber after he unclogs your pipes? Do you keep hanging out at the dentist's office after he fills your cavity? No, I didn't think so. So, resist the urge to be the nice guy when you show up here. Remember, you're here to find a girlfriend or wife, not start a charity. So, when you show up here, resist the urge to be the guy in the PG-13 movie that everybody's really hoping makes it happen. Instead, be the guy in the rated R movie. The guy you're not quite sure about. He's quiet. He's mysterious. He's brave. He's a good guy, but he's not a nice guy. Worst thing number 11, not blocking an ex after you break up. Once a relationship ends with a Filipina, then you need to block her on all your social media and block her number on your phone. Don't ever talk to her again. And in some cases, you might need to move to a new place or even to a new province depending on the situation. There was a story circulating this past year on YouTube about a Filipina who had her ex-boyfriend arrested for arguing with her. And the story is that he's in jail right now because he refused to pay her off. And the details are unclear about what kind of arguments they were having and if they involve abuse or threats of physical harm and how much alcohol was involved. It's tricky because the story is based on second and third-hand information that's getting circulated online. But the questions no one seems to be asking are, why was he still in communication with his ex? How did she know where he lived? Was he flaunting his new relationship for her to see? Why did he stay in a relationship that seemed to be so toxic? We don't really know the actual details, but I can say this. If your relationship turns toxic, then your only winning move is to break up as soon as possible. You have nothing to gain by shouting and arguing with the Filipina. You need to simply disappear and don't be dumb. Don't start dating a new Filipina and post her pictures all over social media for her ex to see, because she's probably going to do everything in her power to sabotage your new relationship. Guys, it's not hard. Not every relationship works out, and that's okay. So, when it ends, just walk away. Block her and her family and friends on social media and move on. And if it's really that bad and you need to move, then move. A crazy ex should not know where you live or who you're dating. And she should not have the ability to contact you to play mind games. So, don't be dumb. Just disappear. And worst thing number 12, putting your sausage in crazy. Rule number 1 when you're dating Filipinas is to never put your sausage in crazy. And there's a lot of crazy Filipinas running around the Philippines. So, be smart when you show up here. If you're on a date with a Filipina and you take her back to your place and she says she loves you and wants to have a baby with you and you see a crazy look in her eye, then do yourself a favor and don't take the bait. Just get a quick HJ and thank her for an enjoyable evening and send her home and never meet her again. Good night. Sell crazy someplace else. We're all stuck up here. What do you think? Do you have anything to add to the list of worst things? Please let me know in the comments below. If this episode was helpful for you and you want to help support my efforts and buy me and Jinky a bucket of Jollibee and a bottle of Red Horse, then you can leave me a tip by clicking the thanks button below or use the PayPal link in the video description. I used to make $1 an hour as a waitress here in the Philippines, so I don't need anyone's money because I know how to survive on very little. But none of this would be possible without all the people who keep showing up and watching my videos. So, thank you very much. And as usual, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button for the good luck of the Philippines.